Alright, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and it is a good day to stream, dude. I'm feeling good about streaming today. I'm feeling good about, because like I started the stream, like I just happened to notice the time, and the time it lined up just like perfectly. It's like I don't know, half an hour past when I would, usually be okay with starting my stream. Not only that, I also ate just like, I don't know, maybe half an hour or an hour before. And I also have stuff that I wanna do on stream. I have that stuff ready. Actually, something that I might not have ready. So, okay, what we are going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing working on audio stuff in Python using PyAudio. Since yesterday, I have done a bunch of research, and okay, real quick, let me just clean up this code because I'd written this as I wanted to post this on Twitter to see if anyone else had any information. So like, okay, here's where I'm at with this stream.read situation, right? Stream.read is a blocking operation. It's going to block and it's going to read from the current input device. All of that stuff that bit is fine. It's going to read how many frames I tell it to read, and it's going to block until it's read all those frames, and then it's going to return that, right? The thing is, I am not able to figure out, or well, my tests have not shown me whether there would be some kind of performance difference, in performance if I use a smaller chunk value versus if I use a bigger chunk value. Because right now chunk is 1024 frames, right? So it's going to read 1024 frames, and we have this little let's call it equation, this little formula that we've set up that takes the sample rate into account. It takes the chunk count into account. It also takes the number of seconds into account, and it makes it so you are able to break the data that you're reading into smaller chunks and write that to the file. I need to look into. Oh, something that just occurred to me is what is write frames doing? Write frames is writing. It's directly writing to a file, isn't it? So if stream.read returns 44,100 frames, that's going to be 88,200 bytes. Then doesn't that mean that it's going to be trying to write all of that in one go? So there, I think it can be an issue, because there we're going to be doing a file IO operation, right? So that's going to be limited by the hardware. Yeah, I didn't take that into account. I completely forgot about that. Okay, so now I'm kind of seeing, because like, okay, here's my thing, right? Previously, I was like, okay, why can I not just do something like this, right? Let me set chunk to what? Let's set it to this, right? Why can I not just do this? It's gonna read exactly how many samples the sample rate contains. It's gonna read exactly that many samples for how many ever seconds. Wait, Yeah. Okay, so for a second there, I was confused about how it knows what sample rate to use, but then I remembered we are mentioning the sample rate when we open up the stream. So yeah, it probably knows based on that how it's supposed to read and at what rate it's supposed to read. So it's doing all of that work for us, which is fine. What was I? Wow. Okay, yeah. So previously my thing was I couldn't figure out why I shouldn't just do why I shouldn't just, set the chunk value to something big and read exactly that much. Read, for example, exactly the sample rate worth of frames every second, right? How would that make a difference? But then just now it occurred to me that here we might be having a file IO operation going on, so there could be like that could be affected in terms of performance. If we are talking about performance, that could actually be affected. So I think writing smaller chunks would be better as opposed to writing one big chunk. Though I need to do more. I need to do more research, or well, I need to do more testing. Actually, I need to do both research and testing to figure out if to figure out the performance thing here. But to be honest, I don't think I need to change anything here. This default algorithm that I was using, that was given in the PyAudio documentation, this algorithm works perfectly fine because this takes the sample rate into account, it takes the chunk size into account, and it takes the length of the audio into account as well, like how many seconds you're trying to record for. And then this algorithm just it works perfectly. It makes it so you can read a small chunk for a certain number of seconds, but taking the sample rate into account as well. So like I don't need to change this a whole lot. I was just obsessing over it because I was like, I wasn't able to make sense out of it. Okay. Before we continue, do I have NumPy installed? I can't remember if I have NumPy installed. Let me see if... No. So I need to install two things. I need to install... So let's do pip3 install NumPy. Can I just give a space? I don't remember. Like, how do you do... Is it a comma or a space? I think it's a space. So NumPy and matplotlib. Do I need pandas? I don't think I need pandas. I think it can take a NumPy array. So here's what I want to do, right? I'll record a clip and then we can try and read the samples of that clip. Not only that, since I'm installing NumPy as well, I could generate an entire sine wave of a certain frequency. I could do that as well, and then we can visualize that in the form of like a bar graph or like a line chart or anything else. To be honest, like matplotlib has a lot of options for you. Dude, matplotlib is crazy. It is like, once I explore, I'm glad that I took the time to explore these things. I'm pretty sure like if you're learning ML related things or data science related things, these are going to be like the basics. These are going to be like prerequisites, knowing how NumPy works, knowing how to use NumPy, knowing how to use pandas, knowing how to use matplotlib. These are going to be like part of the basics because you need this stuff. You need to use this stuff if you are doing any data science related stuff. Though fortunately, these days ML models are becoming very much capable of generating graphs for you. So for example, ChatGPT, it's at least like back when it had come out, people were able to use it to, like, they could feed data into it and they could ask it to just plot the data onto a graph, and it would do it for you. And like over time, it has only improved. Oh shit! I just noticed my VTuber avatar, dude. I've been thinking about designing an overlay for this. Well, for my stream, but like I want the overlay to be within my what do you call it? What do you call it? Within my VTubing app. I want to design the overlay within this app. It's much better, at least for me, to design the overlay in the app itself as opposed to designing it separately and designing like various pieces of it so that I can put it together in OBS. Nah, I don't wanna do all that. Just designing and programming the UI within Unity itself, it's so much more easier for me. It'll also give me like a lot more control. It'll also be very, very easy for me to customize it because I'm very well versed with, Unity UI stuff. I was considering using the UI toolkit, which is like their newer UI technology. Because like it's fairly robust. It has a lot of features. It also gives you, I believe it gives you a lot of, well, I mean, that depends. I was about to say it gives you a lot of control, but like, I think so. Okay. With the UI toolkit, what they're saying is it's great at the moment. It's really great if you want to make editor tools, if you want to create editor tools with it, because previously you absolutely had to code the editor UI. So like, for example, if you were making any tools or plugins that were supposed to run in the editor, you couldn't use their UI system. You couldn't use their UI system for it. Their UI system, which came out in, I don't know, somewhere in Unity 4. I think, I don't remember if it was 4.3 or 4 point something. Or was it in 5? I can't remember. At some point, it's a very old system, but at some point they had introduced a new UI system, which I believe was let me see if I remember this right. So there was a plugin called NGUI back in the day. I don't know if it's still a thing, but like there was a plugin on the Unity Asset Store called NGUI that allowed you to do a lot of cool UI stuff. Prior to that, or well, not prior to that, the alternative to that at the time, if you wanted to use an out of the box solution, you didn't have one. In Unity, you had to code the UI. You had to code the UI and then code the UI logic as well. And then and you had to do this. You had to do this for both games and for editor tools. Eventually, the creator of NGUI, I believe they started. I don't know if they got hired by Unity or if there was some kind of partnership there or what, but like they came on board and they helped with building the new UI system, which basically allowed people to create UI using a UI builder or using UI building tools within the Unity editor itself. So they weren't limited to coding all of the UI themselves. And that was pretty powerful. That gave people a lot of very powerful tools to work with. But this was only for runtime stuff. This wasn't for editor tools. You couldn't use those UI tools to make editor tools. You could only use it to make runtime tools. You could only use it to make UI that was going to run during runtime. If you wanted to make editor tools, you still had to code the UI yourself. With the new UI toolkit, you have an editor builder. No, is it an editor builder? A UI builder. You have a UI builder within the editor, that lets you build the UI, which you can use for both the runtime and editor tools. So you can use this to build both editor tools and runtime, well, editor tools UI and runtime tools UI. Runtime, oh man, okay. You can use it to build UI that's going to be used in fucking editor tools and during runtime. Let's just put it that way. I'm like fumbling my words. Holy shit. Okay, that being said, it does have limitations. And that is why I've been taking my own time with learning the UI toolkit. I'm not rushing into it because it's not completely there yet. It's great for doing editor tools. But in terms of runtime stuff, if you want very, very fine control over things, then you're still better off sticking with the old UI system. There is runtime capability in it, but I at least from what I understand, at the moment they're recommending you stick with the old thing, at least for runtime stuff. But that being said, I do wanna familiarize myself with the UI toolkit because it's going to be the future, right? Eventually the thing is going to be improved to the point where it's going to be used for both editor tools and runtime stuff. So that's why I wanted to try and use the UI toolkit for doing stuff, but I don't know if I should do that. Like I'm not too sure if I want to do that. There's the thing. So okay. First of all, I am not very well versed with UI toolkit. I'm well versed with the old UI system. I know it pretty well. I can create UI very easily with it. And like it's a feature rich system. Like it's been iterated over for years at this point, and it's been improved a lot. So we can call this a battle tested system. It's a battle ready system. Battle tested, battle ready, whatever. It's usable. It is more than usable, and it's also very highly customizable. UI toolkit is still fairly new, and I'm not entirely sure of its runtime capabilities. I know that there are runtime capabilities, but I don't know how good they are. So I don't know if it's the best idea to use that for making in-game UI. That being said, maybe I can stick with the old UI system. And I can make something good for the stream, because like I feel like I have, because it's my own custom app, right? I have full control over everything that's going on. I can create an overlay if I want. I can create a room and I can roam around in that room. I can make it like I don't know. I could make like a lab. There's so many things that I can do. Okay, so in terms of designing an overlay, so like I can design the room. That's going to be super easy. I can also like I can create a character controller that'll allow my avatar to move. Doing all that it's not too much of an issue. But something that's really important to me is not having the overlay take away from, or minimize, not having it minimize what I'm trying to show on stream. So I'm okay with adding overlay elements here and there, but I don't want there to be a situation where I have to minimize whatever I'm trying to show, or shrink down whatever I'm trying to show. So you see the VS Code window right now. I don't want to shrink this down just so it fits within an overlay. I don't want to design that kind of an overlay. I want to have an overlay that's going to like have various elements, you know, hanging out here and there. Maybe there'll be something hanging out from the top left, something coming up from the bottom. There can be like little animations here and there. I could have like a mascot coming up here and there. I can also place chat somewhere. I mean, I haven't created the chat thing yet. I'm going to create, well, I mean, that's going to be a whole other thing of its own. Yeah, that's going to be a thing of its own. I could like design, I could build something. I could build like my own custom thing. I'm trying to think of a way that I can use the browser source. Like if I can manage to properly break up that data that's coming from the browser source, or properly display, let's say properly display the data that's coming from the browser source. Because like I have like the chat widget thing, a lot of people, they just use the way that they do it. Let's say from Stream Elements, you can create a widget there, and that's going to prepare like everything for you, and then it'll give you a link to the widget, and then you just create a web source in your OBS and drop that link in there, and then the widget will appear, and if anyone is talking in your chat, then messages are going to appear as well. So I could save myself the trouble of having to build the whole chat thing myself. Though if I build the whole chat thing myself, I will have like a fair bit of customizability there. But I don't know if it's going to be more effort than it's worth, if I'm being honest. Like I would rather try something simple right now, which in this case would be using an already built widget and trying to just display the stuff that it shows. So if I can read whatever is being received from that widget, then I can try and like display the text. Even if it's like super broken, I can try to do something with that. So I'm not gonna have to code my own thing to, you know, display the emotes and display this and display that. I'll have to see in what format. I could study. Hold on. Yeah. So I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I can like I can look into. I can try the simpler method first. Okay, for now we're gonna carry on with this. I got distracted. Let's create a new cell. I think I can use this cell. Nah, let's create a new cell. Okay, so let's import NumPy as NP. Let's import matplotlib as MP. I forgot. Hold on. Is it matplotlib.pyplot as MP? And then MP has... There it is. Okay. No, hold on. So I need matplotlib as MP and I need pyplot as PLT. So what we are going to do... Wait, how did I do that? How did I just do that? Oh, I just hit both the keys together. Okay, never mind. Dot pyplot as PLT. So I haven't done this in a little bit, so you're gonna have to excuse me. So we had figure and axis equals PLT dot, I think subplot, I believe. That returns an axis. Okay. Wait, it only returns an axis. Okay. What about plot? No, it's not plot. It's not plot. There was something about a new figure. How would you make a new figure? It wasn't just figure. What about AX? Dot axes, I think? It's not axes either. Give me a second. Let me look up matplotlib examples just to get a refresher. Okay, let's open that up. Because I haven't done this in a bit, so I need to look at like the basics again. You need to create something at the beginning. There's a tiny bit of a setup that you have to do. You have to create either a figure, or you have to create a subplot or an axis. Like I think a subplot. I think a figure contains axes. I forgot what the hierarchy was, so that's why I need to look at examples. Let's just look at a bar graph. That should be enough. So it was plt.subplots. Oh, it's an S. Okay. It wasn't, there it is. So it returns a figure and an axis. I need just one thing, so I don't need to, worry about that too much. Then was it figure.plot, or was it, oh wait, no, I think I just need to do plt dot plot, or here bar graph. So x has to be, let's do 1. Wait, x has to be 1, 2, and 3, I think. How does the x-axis go? It's the placement, right? And then the height is the y value. Okay, yeah. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and then this one should be, let's say 3, 5, 1. We don't need to worry about the width and a couple of the other things too much. I don't think I need to do plt.show either, right? It's just in matplotlib, in Jupyter, it's just going to show it. Okay, this is taking a little bit too long. Hold on, did it display something else? Nope, I'm not seeing anything else. So in a standalone thing, in a standalone script, you would need to, I believe you would need to do plt.show. But here, okay, what does, oh, there it is. Okay. So that's our graph, right? So let's say we created a graph, a equals np.array. I don't know, what should it be? Let's do list. Does list accept a range? It accepts an iterable, so I can do range 0 to 20. Would that work? Hold on, let's see what that prints. Okay, that works. Great. Awesome. So that's going to be our A, and then B can be, actually, I kind of want B to be random, but hold on, does, what was the random thing again? Okay. Let's do as R&D. And then what does R&D contain? Random. What does that return? That returns a float. Okay, how do I get it to return an integer? I mean, I could I could multiply that by something. Wouldn't that work? Like, I could basically scale the thing. I mean, to be fair, I could use like a remap algorithm as well. And oh, random int. I think this is it, including both endpoints. Okay, so it's inclusive of both of them. So let's do between 10 and 30. Let's say b is equal to that, and then let's try to print b. All right. Okay. So here, what I want to do is say b equals np array. And here I want to use list comprehension. So let's say x for no rnd dot random int for x in range 0 to 20. Right, so those are our heights. Oh, there is an ad playing, so I'm going to stop talking for a bit, and I'm going to hydrate in the meantime.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and the YouTube Music app all together. Try 1 month free of charge.
All right, welcome back. Okay, so what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. But hopefully this works. If this, okay, let's test this out real quick. All right, so we have our values there. Great, awesome. So now I can just pass in A and B, and then we should have a decent graph. Yep, there is our data. We can probably make this bigger as well. I can set the range to be based on the length of A, so that way I only have to change one value. So I can make this 50, and we can increase the variety here. So we can do something like this. There we go. Awesome. Great. Cool. Okay, so let me just remember. I believe what 16 bits max is 65,535, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, 65,535. Or was it 65,350? No, 535. Not that it matters. Let's say it's 64K. Here's what I want to do. So we're going to start from this, and we're going to go 65,535. This is going to be a fairly big sample. So this is going to be 1 second worth of audio. 1 second worth of one channel audio. Let's see what comes up. It's going to be a very big generation, so give it a couple of seconds. In the meantime, while that's doing its thing, I need to look into the sine function. How exactly does the sine function work in NumPy? Oh shit, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Trigonometric sine element wise. Okay, great. Element wise. Okay, these parameters are not making a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna need to look at, yeah, I think I need to look at NumPy document. Oh my god, this is taking a while to generate. It's taking a while to plot. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's 44,100 samples. Dude, you know what I should look into? I should look into a way to take the sample rate down, compress down. Actually, I think there is a way to do that. Hold up. I think there is a way to do that. What would happen if I turn the sample rate down? Wouldn't that automatically just, you know, wouldn't it do the transformation of the samples as it is? Like, wouldn't that solve the problem? Or would I have to do that transformation myself? I mean, I don't need to worry about it too much. It's just for the sake of this example. Wow, holy shit, this is taking a while to generate. So 44,100, in case anyone is wondering, is the number of samples in 1 second. That's for one channel. If it's going to be 2-channel audio, then it's going to be double that amount for 1 second. So my idea was to plot a sine wave. Oh, are we almost done? Damn, dude, 3 minutes. Holy shit. But I mean, to be fair, it's a big data set. This is a massive data set. What was I saying? I was saying something. I forgot shit. I lost my train of thought. Okay, while this is loading, I guess I can come back here and look up NumPy. Well, not look up NumPy, but read the documentation. Okay, thank you for the dark mode. That definitely helps. Okay, so let's look up sine. There it is, numpy.sine. Okay, so x is the array. Hold up, is it done generating? Wow, holy shit, this is taking a while. This is taking a while. Damn, dude. I think it took some time to complete this operation itself, because it took time. It took some time before this message appeared. So I'm assuming that means that it took some time to generate this. I don't think it took as much time to generate this, but this probably took some time to. Oh, okay. There's our data. This is our data. This is just random data. But if I generate a sine wave, it's going to look something along the lines of this. It's going to have that many samples. Though now that I know it's going to take so much time to plot this, I think I'm going to be a little more careful with how many samples I'm trying to plot. But okay, what I need to do is, so each sample is 2 bytes. So I'm going to need to convert the byte array into an int array. And then I'm going to need to why am I suddenly sleepy, dude? Give me a second. Let me take a sip of my energy drink. Oh man. I recently got back into making ginger energy drinks. I'd stopped it for a while because I got kind of lazy with, having to peel and crush the ginger each time I wanted to have an energy drink. But I'm kind of getting back into it again. It's nice and refreshing. Okay, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Okay, we are going to look into the sine thing here, and we're going to try and plot a sine. Because, like, okay, it says element wise, right? So I'm guessing it's going to take the array into account, and it'll allow you to generate a sine wave. A location into which, wait, so what does this return? Does this return anything? Is there a return value? Where's, I can't read any of, okay, hold on. This, oh, it returns something. It returns y, which is an array, the sign of each element of x. This is the scalar if x, this is a scalar if x is a scalar. So it returns an array containing all of the sign values. Okay. All right. So that's basically what I'm looking for. Because I'm trying to get wave amplitudes in an array, and I'm guessing that's what this is going to be returning. So here's what we can do, right? Angle in radians. Angle in radians. Okay, how should I? Oh, I can run a for loop. For x, I'm trying to find a way to use list comprehension here, but for the time being, here's what we can do. We can, so we can get rid of this, and we can do, wait, this returns a NumPy array, doesn't it? Hold on. Yeah, okay, wait, I didn't need to get rid of the first one there. I just needed to fix something here. Let's make it 5 for now. Okay, and then sine. What is this expecting? Oh, angles. Okay. So here's what we can do. It is expecting angles in radians. All right. So how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Okay, we can try x for x and no, wait. It needs a NumPy array. So np.array, and then here we can have a list comprehension, x for x in range 0 to, let's say, 90 for now. Okay, but we don't want 90 specifically. We want in steps of, no, not steps of 5. We need exactly 5, right? So in steps of 5, it would be, I'm trying to think what it would be in steps of 5. Just a second. Print range 0, 90, steps of 5. Okay, let's create a list. Okay, so in steps of 5, it would be that, and that's not what I'm looking for. That is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 5 elements going from 0 to 90. Right? Does this have to be an integer? I think this has to be an integer, doesn't it? Or can it be a float? Can this be a float? Would that work? No, it can't be a float. Okay. So here's what we can do. Here's what we can do. Okay. We need to find a way to break this. So we can do x for x in range 0 to 90. That's 90 of them. Okay. We could how do I limit this? How do I limit this? Because I was gonna do something like, oh wait, so x for x divided by 5. No, I can't do it here, can I? I can do it here, but I can't do it there. Okay. What thing does it give? What error does it say? I'm just curious. Expression cannot be assignment target. Okay. All right, so what I'm trying to do is oh, wait a second. What if I do this? Division by 0. Oh, the first. Okay. All right, dude. Okay, that gave me. Oh, damn. Okay. Nope. Oh, wow. It started making them smaller and smaller. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do this. Yeah, I could do this. Range 1 to 6. 6 is going to be excluded. And then we can do x divided by 90. And that should give a... Why is the result still big? Something happened. Oh shit. I think I accidentally hit the debugger thing. How do I stop that? Just give me a second. What was it? F7 that I hit? Okay, just a second. I accidentally hit... Okay, there it is. So we can stop debugging. I accidentally hit the debug key and then, yeah, it just All right, so what are we getting here? We're getting tiny values. We are getting tiny values because of this. Okay, right. So, dude, okay, what if I do print list range 0, 90, but in steps of, I don't know, 27. Okay, that still gives an integer. That does not give. Okay. I seem to have gotten stuck on this thing. So what I was trying to do here is create a list comprehension that gives me 5 values between 0 and 90, but like equally divided. So like, I need to look this up because I think I feel like there's something obvious that I'm missing. Okay, Python divide a number into n parts. There you go. NumPy method to, oh, there's a NumPy method for it. Okay, I'll go for dividing a number into two almost equal oh shit. I just realized I had something open. Okay, that's done. Okay, split equal. Oh, NumPy had like a linear space thing, so well, yeah, I mean, I guess in a way that's true. I'm trying to lay them out linearly, like get specific points in that line going from 0 to whatever that line is. What was I trying to do? I've completely lost track of what I was trying to do. Let's just restart. So, what I was trying to do is I was trying to get 5 numbers between 0 and 90. Right? But let's not do 5 numbers. Let's do 0, 45, and then there's 90. Okay, so to divide this into 5 parts, we can do 0. Actually, this is exactly where the linear space thing would help, wouldn't it? I have used that actually before. Returns evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. So we start at 0, we stop at 90, and where do we specify the interval? Start, stop, num. Returns num evenly. Oh, that's the interval. Okay. All right. There is our answer. So that's what I'm looking for. All right. So we are gonna need to. So how do I go about this? What was I trying to do? Oh yeah, I need to convert it to radians. Yeah, I need to convert the whole thing to radians. Okay. First, let's put this whole thing into this, and then we'll print this. Okay. So then A equals np.array x for x in A. Let's do B here. So basically, I just want radians. Do I need a specific thing for that? Oh, wait, does NumPy have like a radians, what do you call it, constant or a radians method? Let me look that up. Because I think the math namespace has it, the math module has it. Python NumPy radians. Oh yeah, it's numpy.radians. And okay, that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for degrees to radians. But what is this? Is this a function? It converts angles from degrees to radians. And then what is this? What is the difference between these two? Converts angles from radians to degrees, and this converts angles from degrees to radians. So they just had like a bad naming scheme. Is that it? No, it's not. What is the difference here? Okay, let's Google this. So radians versus rad to deg. Both functions do exactly the same thing, but degrees to radians is a more descriptive name. Both functions do exactly the same. All right, okay, cool. So that's what I'm looking for, degrees to radians. So NumPy, wait, what does that expect? What is this expecting? A scalar. Can it be an array? I mean, I'm not get. I mean, wait, can it be an array? Hold on. Oh, it can be an array. And then it's going to return a full NumPy array. All right, that works. So we can print out this thing like this. And there is our radians. Great. Awesome. So now what we can do is we can get okay. So we can create actually okay, so I can probably redo this whole thing. So np dot degrees to radians, np dot line space 0 to 90 at 5 steps. So that's going to be our sine values. That should be our sine values, right? And then this can be, well, this. So let's get rid of this. And now let's try to plot this. Oh, nice, dude. Okay, okay. All right. So we have 5 intervals, right? Num underscore bars equals 5. Actually, let's make this a constant. Num underscore bars. Okay. All right. So I want this to be a full 360. That's also going to include negative values. So that's something to take into account. And now let's just increase this to like, I don't know, 50. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. So there's our sine wave. So now I could probably generate You know what? We can try stretching this out. So we can test out how well. Um, let's stretch this out to 500, and let's see how well it spaces them out, because NumPy is known for doing, like, it's designed to do operations on. It's designed to do operations on arrays. That's why we have all of these different methods that, I don't need to do. I don't need to create like multiple for loops and run for loops over the array and all that stuff. NumPy is it's made to create and work on arrays and do operations on arrays in like a more performance friendly way. I don't know why I was saying that. I forgot why. I had some point. I was trying to say something. I forgot what I was saying. Does this look like, this doesn't look like 500 samples. Why am I not seeing 500 samples? Let's run that again. Oh, is it being squeezed down? Is that the reason? I think that might be the reason. Squeeze doesn't, I think multiple of, like, if I zoom into, oh, you know what, we can zoom into it, because fortunately I have a mouse now that has a working scroll wheel. Let's try zooming into it and see if we are able to see anything. No, it's a rendered version of it. Okay, though I'm not seeing 500, dude. Is this 500? Is this really, this is not 500. This does not look like 500. Am I wrong to think that? Okay, let's take it back to 50 and see what happens. Okay, it looks, I don't know, man. Okay, let's take it down to 20. Right. Okay. So let's take it to 2000 and see what shows up. Give it a couple of seconds. Actually, also give me like, oh. All right, so I'm not sure why it's not displaying the bars. I wonder if the bars are like, just like blending together. Could that be the issue? The width is currently 0.8, so let's take it down to 0.4 and see how that looks. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just an issue with the rendering, like it's so small that, like, they're kind of, well, they're so close that they're kind of just like blending together. I think. Hmm. No, dude. Something is wrong here. Something is, I don't know what I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, see, because this does not look like, does this look like 500? Also, I like that the bar graph here is, wait a second. Hold on. This is not supposed to have like slopes. Oh, are these Are these individual bars? Could that be a thing? Could that be what's happening? Okay, let's try making, okay, let's try 50. Okay, that's apparently 50. Let's open that up there. Now let's try 40. And open that up there. Then let's try 30. And open that up there. Okay, 30 makes more sense. 30 is making a lot more sense. You see this? 40 also makes sense, to be honest. Okay, 40 also makes sense. Fifth, this is 50? Okay. This is where it became curved. So I'm kind of confused about this. Okay, so let's increase it to 60 or okay, 70. At 70 also it does make sense, but it's slowly starting to, like, the lines are becoming weird. Or maybe it's just, hold on, I'm curious about the spacing here. Is there supposed to be spacing? I think there is, like, a little bit of spacing, right? What if I just what if I just set up 7 samples? Yeah, there is a tiny bit of spacing there. Yeah. There is spacing. There is spacing. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So, we know that this thing works. Now, I want to generate. Oh, this will be interesting. Hold on. How do I make it a frequency? Or rather, how do I introduce a frequency? I think yeah, how do I introduce a frequency? Would I just have to increase the max value? No, I need to increase. Well, no, hold up. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? Increase the max value. So if I do this and then I do this, now we have 2 full cycles. Oh, come on, dude. Okay, yeah. So now we have 2 full cycles happening. So that's 2 hertz. Okay, so here's what I can do. I can create a frequency thing and we can play around with that. Multiplied by frequency. So we can do 10 hertz. Right? Given these samples, it looks like shit, but like if we generated something massive with it, or if we generated a full 44,100 samples, we would kind of have some sound. I think you have to go to like 20 or 30 hertz to be able to hear anything, because at that point, like, the frequency is so low that you can barely hear it. I think at 20 you start to hear. Though no, I think even at 10, maybe if you have like a subwoofer or something, maybe you might be able to. I think so, because subwoofers are supposed to give you lower frequencies, right? But I don't know if it goes as low as 10. But yeah, at least at 20, you'll definitely start to hear the subwoofer rumbling. You'll be hearing the bass. Okay, so let's increase this to, let's say, 3,000 samples, just so we can see what that looks like. I think one of the issues we are having here is it is not a, oh shit, okay. I think it's squeezing values. That's what was happening. Dude, okay, wait, yeah, it's kind of like grouping the values together. Let me look that up. So matplotlib, big values getting grouped. How to plot large range values with matplotlib. There it is. Okay, so we need to find a way to this seems to be the issue. It's kind of like grouping the values together. I'd done some research on this before. There was a way to like stop that from happening. I just need to look into that again. Use a logarithmic y-axis. So instead of plot, use this. You can change the base depending on what dynamic range. Okay, let's see. What is semi-log y? It's in pyplot, apparently. So plt.semi-log y. Okay. And that gives you a list of lines. Actually, that would just be a plot, right? Okay, so let's try this. Oh, no, stop. Oh, shit. Okay, let it keep going. I didn't know that there's already an argument parameter in the bar function to change the scale of the y-axis. Oh, wait, there is? So we have width. We have... Okay, I'll look at the... I'll look at the parameters. Actually, maybe I can look at it from here. So there's height. I think scale might be part of... Oh. What happened here? Okay, so I'm not fully understanding what's going on here. I'm gonna have to look into this later on, but I feel like there's a easier solution to this that I'm just a minute. Python matplotlib dates are squashed together. Okay. Preventing x-axis labels from getting chopped up. Okay. labels are too dense when, okay. Okay, I don't think I need to look into this. Like, I mean, just for the sake of plotting the thing, I don't think I need to. Oh, should I? A quick and dirty solution would be the following. Setting the Y ticks and the X ticks. So in this case, I need to set the X ticks. This would only display every second tick. Oh, so ax.setTicks, that is a thing, right? ax.set underscore xticks. Okay. What about plt dot? Okay, maybe IntelliSense is having issues. So let's do this. What is this expecting? Okay, so we'll plot this and we'll set the ticks to 1, 2, 3 and just see if that accepts. Oh, what happened? What happened there? Oh, okay, dude. Something happened here. Oh, could it be because of negative values? I think it might be because of negative values. Okay, now what if I add more numbers here? And increase this as well. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's say I do 500. Okay. And there's our ticks. All right. So let's set the ticks to, actually, I could just generate a NumPy array, right? Or I could do list range 0 to len. Wait, this needs an iterator or something else? What does this take? The argument must be an iterable if specified. Okay. So range 0 to length of what? Length of A, I guess. So we're going to have 5 labels there. But if just because we're going to have 5 labels, does that also mean that we're going to have, 500 labels? Does that also mean we're going to have 500 bars? I guess let's find out. This is so dumb. This is not going to make a difference to what I was trying to do, but like, I'm wasting time doing it anyways. Okay, well, I am not sure. Okay, so let's take this down to 50 and see if the result is any different. Let's also take the frequency down to 2. Dude, ever since I got into doing audio stuff and I sort of refreshed my knowledge of digital audio basics, digital audio concepts and stuff, I've been super, super tempted to, I think I spoke about this yesterday as well, but I've been like, oh, wait, no, I think I tweeted about it. I've been super, super tempted to write a program in Rust, write my own synth, basically, in Rust. So I can start out small, just creating a sine wave and then transforming that sine. Well, okay, three types of waves: a sine wave, a square wave, and a sawtooth wave. I actually want to try creating those here as well, because we have sine, but what about square and sawtooth? Python might as well try with NumPy, right? No, okay, let's try just square wave. So SciPy has it. Plot square wave. Does NumPy have it? Using only NumPy, is there a way to create a square wave? Because like the idea with a square wave is, think of it as like, well, I mean, not entirely. It depends on the amplitude there as well. It's more of like a, well, if I say it's more of a square wave, then like that just sounds dumb, but it is pretty much. You could write a little function that does this. Okay, so yeah, we could do that. Definitely. That would generate the thing. But wait, somebody has another idea here to arrange the wave. Okay. Hello, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. So I'm gonna say Soche. Let's say Soche. I'm not sure. Hello, welcome to the stream. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing audio programming in Python. Oh, it's a German name. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So what I'm doing here is I started the stream trying to do audio programming. I'm using PyAudio to record audio from the mic, but then I kind of got distracted trying to plot the data onto a graph. So that's what I'm doing here now using matplotlib. I generated the sine wave and I'm plotting that on here. And then I just now got distracted thinking about a side project that I wanted to do in Rust, which is creating my own synth, my own synthesizer, where I'll start with like a sine wave or a square wave or a sawtooth wave, and then I can apply various types of transformations to them. So that would be good practice in Rust as well. But yeah, anyways, welcome to the stream. We are doing a bunch of things here. I'm not even sure at this point what we're doing. I'm doing a study stream. You were thinking of doing a synth for too long? Hell yeah, that sounds like a fun side project. Like, I mean, for me, I'm trying to not get distracted into doing that, because otherwise I'm not going to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is, this. but I'm super tempted to do it in Rust. I even looked up UI frameworks that I can use in Rust, just to set up, the synth UI. And then I can use, I believe there is, so okay, I'm using PyAudio in Python, which is, there are Python bindings for port audio. And there's I believe there's Rust bindings for port audio as well. So I was planning on using that. And actually I should check if NumPy is available on Rust, because that would probably make it easier to generate, or well, work with the samples, iterate over all of the samples. Okay. So you could write plugins for some audio DAWs. I could, I could. That would be another side project that I would go into. I haven't touched DAWs in a while. The last one that I used was Ardor. It was a nice learning experience, and it was kind of interesting going to Ardor from what from Ableton. I jumped from like a 5-star DAW to a 5-star, like, I'm calling it 5-star because, like, dude, for the price that you pay for that thing, you get quite a lot of stuff out of the box. I jumped from that to try and do something open source, and that's why I went to Ardor. And in a way, I got to learn a lot by trying to do stuff in Ardor, because I learned about how people do things more manually, versus doing it in oh, FL Studio is another one that I'd looked into. There was LMMS as well. And finally, for Windows, I think I one that I wanted to try, but I haven't done it. Maybe I'll do it at some point in the future. Is I think it's called Reaper. I think it's called Reaper. Yeah. It's made by the person who made, or by the company who made Winamp back in the day. And it's in a way free as well. Like, it has a license that expires, but after it expires, you can just keep using it, apparently, which is great. Audio is such a cool type of data. It is, to be honest. Like, so recently when I'm doing this research right now so that I can start recording audio data, and then feed it into my VTubing application, or feed it into an ML model to do something. For example, speech to text for a closed captioning system. So I'm getting into doing the audio stuff again. Back in the day, I used to look into audio related concepts when I was messing around with DAWs and messing around with like music production and stuff. But like I didn't get all of the concepts down properly. So I never fully understood the proper meaning of sample rate and bit depth and stuff like that. But then recently I got a chance to do that research again properly, and this time I've understood. Oh, cool! You do ML in your work. That's crazy. That's awesome. What, if you are able to share, what kind of work do you do, or what kind of models do you work on? Because, understandably, not everyone is going to be able to share what work they're doing, especially if it's like new tech. Speaking of ML, at some point in the future, I do wanna. Dude, there's so much ML related stuff. I work on computer vision for autonomous driving. That is interesting. That is really cool. That is actually very cool. Hell yeah. Good on you. Good on you. I did a tiny bit of computer vision stuff, but not working on the models myself, just using the models. I used MediaPipe to capture capture body pose landmarks. I did that a couple of streams ago. There's VODs of it up on my VODs channel. And I'm going to be incorporating that into my VTubing app as well. I've been doing research. I want to learn calculus so that I can, well, I mean, I'm learning calculus so that I can understand some of the math behind, because like, I'm trying to get into deep learning, and kind of the basics of deep learning involves neural networks. So I'm trying to learn the basics of neural networks, but more importantly, the math behind them, so I can like construct my own neural networks and understand what's going on in them. So before going deeper into that, I wanted to sort of cover the basics. Because of how complicated my education was, I didn't really get a chance to learn. Let's just say my education of math, it stopped at like 8th grade. And so any math that I learned after that, I learned it after getting into game development. So like I learned trigonometry years after finishing high school. I learned trigonometry based on need. I didn't really learn it in school. And I also never got a chance to learn calculus. So I'm interested in learning calculus. I actually did. I started doing calculus study streams a couple of, I think it was 2 weeks back, but then I got distracted again. Most people know the hands-on stuff, but do not know what's going on under the hood. I like to understand what's going on under the hood because it gives me an idea of why something is working the way that it's working, and how I could, oh shit, there's an ad playing. Okay, wait, I'll pause for like 30 seconds. Okay, hopefully the ad is over on your end as well. Welcome back. Also, I just noticed, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. But yeah, like I was saying, I prefer to understand how things work under the hood because it gives me a better idea of how of why something is doing the thing that it's doing, why something is working the way that it's working. It also gives me an idea of how I can improve it or make it run faster. So how I can do like performance optimizations, for example. And for the most part, it's also just for my curiosity because I always want to learn how something is working. But yeah, I'm like super interested in deep learning. I want to go into well, I've kind of already gone into the basics of neural networks, stuff like, what is a feed-forward network, what's a perceptron, and how various layers are connected to each other, and what's the training process, how training is done. But like, I started to notice that in all of that stuff, there were various other things getting involved, stuff that I didn't know previously. For example, calculus. So now I want to get into calculus as well. In research, you need to know what is happening to find new ideas. True. Yeah, I want to, so I follow a couple of people on Twitter who post a lot of AI and ML related research. And so I get a chance to see a lot of the cool tech that's coming out. It is amazing what people are doing. Like, even if it's just like a proof of concept kind of thing that doesn't necessarily go very far, even then it's super impressive that people are just the fact that they're able to do it at this point in time. A recent one that I've seen is this thing called Animate Anything. I think it's called Animate Anything. It's where you can give it a photo of yourself, and then you can give it animated body pose information, and it'll animate your image based on that. It'll animate the human body that's in the image that you've provided, and that's really cool. That is really cool. I don't know when that model is going to be released. Hopefully, it's going to be released at some point because they did mention that they're going to be releasing it. They mentioned it on the GitHub repo. Dude, I need to get back into. Like, I kind of got sidetracked with a bunch of stuff. There's so many things that I need to learn. I need to learn calculus, or get back into learning calculus. Then I need to carry on learning about neural networks, build my own very basic neural network. I want to start with a feed forward neural network and then go further on into like recurrent neural networks, convolutional neural networks, and whatever other kinds I can think of. What else? There's so much more. There was the deep learning stuff. There's the Hugging Face Transformers library that I want to familiarize myself with. Can you showcase? Oh wait, no, you had a message before that. There's so much stuff out now. I would like to know and can do anything. Wait, I would like to know and can do anything, but it is not possible anymore. I didn't fully understand that sentence. I think you're saying that you would like to check out all of the stuff that's coming out, but like it's not possible for you to check out all of it. Okay, the next message was, can you showcase what you already have in your audio script? I have very basic stuff. It's nothing special currently. So I started with the basics, just learning how to record audio, because I didn't know how to do that. And off stream, I looked into how to play the audio. I'm not really gonna be using the play feature a whole lot. I'm gonna be using the recording thing a lot more, because my VTubing app, it's running in Unity, and I didn't think that working with audio in Unity was gonna work out that well. More specifically, recording audio. Because so for my VTubing app, I wanna do a bunch of audio things, but one of the things that I'm kind of giving more importance to right now is a closed captioning system. So what I want to do is I want to record my audio and then send it into a Python script, which is then gonna push that data into a speech to text model. And then the speech to text model is going to give the text back, and then I'll send that data back from the Python script to the VTubing app. And that's how I'm going to be setting up closed captioning. But I didn't want to do the recording in Unity itself because it seemed very limiting, and I wasn't sure if I would have to deal with a whole bunch of like performance related things. So I decided to record the audio directly in Python, because I plan on running this on a different system. At least once it's set up. Right now, all I have is, wait, hold up. I think I needed OpenCV as well. I should have done OpenCV, not Matplotlib, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a window. And then I could like receive like key presses and stuff like that, and based on that I could have like a record feature. So just to like show you what's going on in the code, it's just basics. It's pretty much a copy paste of the examples. We've created like the variables for the chunk and the format, the sample rate, and the number of seconds that's going to be recorded, and the channel. Then we open up a WAV file, and then we initialize PyAudio and set all of the variables for that WAV file. Then we open up a stream, and read from that stream. And it's kind of interesting. Yesterday and even today, I spent some time doing research on this specific portion, stream.read. This is the part where it reads from the input device, the current input device, which in this case would be my mic, right? And I wasn't able to figure out why I would need to go with a smaller chunk as opposed to a bigger chunk. Because if the sample rate is 44,100, it's recording 44,000, or well, it's not recording, but like it's going to contain, the audio clip is it's going to contain 44,100 samples in 1 second, right? So if I'm like, why wouldn't I do something like this directly? Let's say num seconds. So I'll just iterate from 0 to how many ever seconds, and then I can run this. And I can set chunk to 44,100, or well, set it to the rate. Right? What I couldn't understand was why I wouldn't just do that. Right? I could directly read like a massive chunk, but then it occurred to me today that this massive chunk that's getting read, it's also getting written to the file, to the WAV file. So that might be where there might be a bit of a performance issue. So maybe it's best to read in smaller chunks. I'm still not entirely sure about that, but I need to do more testing and more research to understand the drawbacks, the potential drawbacks of writing more versus writing less. I think it's because we can hear up to 20k hertz, and 44k hertz is more than twice of that fuel to anti-aliasing. Due to anti-aliasing. That's interesting. I didn't really think about it in that way. I was thinking more along the lines of, like, performance wise, it's reading, because like the sample rate is 44,100. That's not changing, and like our hearing thing is not really affected here, because it could be a sine wave as well, a sine wave with a frequency of, let's say, 50 hertz, right? But that wouldn't. So the thing that I was confused about here was why. So okay, a chunk is currently 1024, right? Let's just comment that out. So currently what this is doing is, actually here, what this is doing is it's reading 1024 frames in each for loop iteration. And what they've done here is, in the range, they kind of broke up, they kind of used the sample rate, the chunk size, and the number of seconds that we are trying to record, and they made this sort of algorithm to allow you to read small chunks at a time. And like you read a small chunk. Once that chunk is read, it's going to write that into the WAV file, and then the next iteration happens, and then the same thing is going to keep on happening. What I was not able to understand was, if 1 second contains 44,100 frames, then why not just, like, well, not why not, but what would be the difference between me doing something like this, right? Why wouldn't I just read 44,100 frames? But then it occurred to me, like, when I started the stream and when I started talking about this, it occurred to me that, oh, it's also writing it to the file. So maybe it's, Is the 1024 maybe the bit depth? No, the bit depth is 16. So 1024 frames are being read means it's 2048 bytes because each frame is 16 bits. In this case, it's reading 1024 frames. But like what I couldn't understand was why, or well, not why necessarily, but like what would be the difference between me essentially reading a small chunk of 1024 versus me reading a bigger chunk of 44.1K. But like eventually it kind of made sense. So okay, something else I wanted to look into was, so all right, so I know how to capture the audio now, and the audio gets it gets recorded and it gets stored in this file output.wave, which is great. Now, what I need to do next is it maybe averaging over the 1024 steps to reduce the noise? I don't think so. This is it's not doing any kind of processing. It's just capturing the thing raw. I can do any processing that. I think the most processing that it's doing is like dividing it up based on the sample rate that I've provided for the stream. But like I'm not really controlling any of that. Hold up. So I need to install OpenCV. What was the package name? Was it just OpenCV or something else? Python OpenCV pip. OpenCV Python, I think. I think it's -Python, right? Hold on. I'm just Googling this somewhere else. Pip install. Oh, it's Python. Okay, thank you. Okay. So let that install. And then so I might need to run this from, wait, no, I can run OpenCV Windows from a Jupyter cell, right? I can't remember if I've done that because I've done that from like a standalone script, but I don't remember if there were issues on the wait, let me see. I do not use Jupyter, therefore I do not know. I could try doing it here. Let's see, it's installed, right? Okay. So import, what is it? OpenCV, I think? Or is that it? Is it CV2? Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay. So CV2 as CV. Thank you for that. I completely forgot about that. Okay. So then, oh my God, I'm completely blanking on OpenCV. Give me a second. Let me look up an example. Oh, new window. There it is. Named window. So we create a window. I need a way to close the window as well, right? Yeah. I don't think I need to store the window in anything. No. So let's just say test window O1. No need for any flags. Then for the time being, I can just run while true. Does wait key also work when there's nothing displaying? Maybe I could do I am show. What is this expecting? It's expecting a mat-like object, which I could do, let's say, wait, a mat-like object. Do I have any image that I can load up? No, I could just do like a, okay, wait, let's not display anything. Let's see if the window shows up just by itself. So then I want to do cv.waitKey 0. This returns the key, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Key equals this. If key equals ordq, then break. All right. So you could generate a random NP array. I was considering that. I was like, okay, what if I just make a big, wait, hold on, because, okay, it has to be BGR, which, I mean, I was planning on making it black anyway, so it doesn't matter. Black or white, I could just do 1 or 0 or 255 or 0. Okay, hold on. Let's run this. Then I need to release the thing as well. What was it? Destroy? I think destroy all windows, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to run this and see if the window pops up. The window is popping up, but like it's not going to show up on stream because, well, I'm doing a window capture. But it doesn't matter. Here's what I can do. Just to make sure that I'm getting, just to make sure. Shit, I closed it and it did not, I don't think it exited properly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to restart the Jupyter thing. So I closed the window instead of exiting properly using Q. Because if I do the Q thing, then it releases the resources as well. Okay. In the meantime, while this is doing its thing, we can do else if key equals ORD A. Then print. What does ORD take in? It returns the Unicode point for a one character. So I'm just gonna assume it's UTF-8. I don't know, but I'm just gonna assume. If it is UTF-8, then wouldn't this work? I think this would work, right? So did I get this wrong? I think I got this wrong. Oh, okay, so I think we're good now. Okay, so the thing is running, and if I hit A, you can see the values being printed there. Great, awesome. Maybe I can set the size to be smaller. And there's our exit as well. It's exiting properly. Oh, hold up, there's an issue here. What is this supposed to print out? Returns an ASCII-only representation of an object. Oh, it's printing out the ASCII code. For whatever reason, I assumed it would print out. Hold on. Python print print ASCII char. This actually says, okay, so this is saying use. No, that's not what I'm trying to print out. Print from ASCII char. No, that's not what I'm. What was it? Was it string.encode? So we give it this value, which, okay, this is supposed to be a string. That's going to give a byte. Okay, that's not. Okay, what about decode? Okay, ASCII to char. That's, oh, would just char work? There was a char function as well, right? No, I guess there's no char function. CHR. What does this take? Return a Unicode string. Okay, so let's see if that works. I'll go to sleep, midnight in Germany. I like your content here on Twitch a lot. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a good sleep. And I'll see you sometime again in the future. Okay, so there it is. Cool. So it's printing. Right. So now what I wanted to do, I mean, this is a basic window, right? I can also resize the window. So let's make it small enough, and then I can use this to create a new recording. Now, okay, what am I trying to do? I need to think about that because I need to record small chunks and send that into the speech to text thing, right? But at the same time, I'm recording these small chunks. What does it record? Like what's the noise cancellation like? I need to look at that. Okay, so I need to run a loop. I need to run. No. Well, I mean, I'm running it in a loop anyways, but I need to. So I want to try and display the information that's being captured. I mean, I could still do that right now. I could record the information and then I could open up the WAV file and read all of the data from it and try and plot some of it onto a graph. So even like 1,000 samples should be good, but I can do like 2,000, 3,000 samples, even if it takes a couple of seconds. And then we can see we can see how much noise is getting through. We can see the amplitude of the wave. And based on that, I can set a threshold to check if any of the samples in a chunk can, oh, this will be good. This will be good. So, okay, there's two use cases I have right now, right? One of them is the closed captioning speech to text thing, right? The next one is basically audio monitoring. So detecting when I'm talking. So as soon as I start talking, it can trigger some kind of effect. So for example, in my avatar, I can have like some kind of, I don't know, lights going off or colors changing or something moving or something like that, just to signify that I'm talking. And for any other effects. So basically, just like I'm not sure what this thing is called, where you detect speech. No, not detect speech. I guess that detect audio, detect whether whether there's some vocals coming through or not. I'm not getting the right word for it right now. Okay, yeah. So mouth movement. You know what? Yeah. Well, so no, I'm not trying. So what I'm trying to detect is whether somebody is talking. That's 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 it. And there was a word for that. There was like detecting speech, but like I don't know if that would be confusing. Calling it detecting speech, like it's not necessarily like the it's more like is there any sound coming through the mic? Is there any sound being picked up by the mic? More specifically, is there any like louder sounds like when I'm talking versus if I'm quiet, then there might be like minor, like tiny sounds from the environment being picked up in the mic. So I need to figure out what that threshold is. And so I can set a threshold below which it's not going to trigger, or it's not going to it's not going to consider anything below that to be talking, and everything above that, if there is sound, do be random move. If there is sound, do if there is sound, do random mouth movement. Yeah, something. So that's one of the effects that I wanna try adding. Except like in my case, I mean, technically, yeah, it will be mouth movement. I'm trying to do like, so the thing that's the tech that's gonna do this thing, like detecting the sound itself. I'm trying to work on that tech, and then I can apply that to stuff like, for example, random mouth movement, or apply it to any sort of visual effects, or anything else. Right now, I wanna set up the mechanism to detect that. And I feel like the fact that I'm reading only 1024 frames, I think that's going to be helpful here. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be helpful here in a way, because like I can then read those 1024 frames, or I could probably even make it smaller. I could make the chunk size smaller so that I have to iterate over a much smaller sample. Because, okay, let's say I made the chunk size 256, right? That's going to be 256 frames that it's reading. And that's going to be 512 bytes that it's reading. So I'm going to have to iterate over, well, I mean, okay, it doesn't matter if it's 512 bytes, because I have to convert it to an integer, a 16-bit integer. So yeah, it's going to be a 256 element array that I have to iterate over, and then read Wait, no, do I need to? I don't think I need to read it. I don't think I need to read it. I can use NumPy to get, I could use NumPy to get an average of the samples. Yeah, hold up. So one simple method for average is arithmetic mean, right? So let's say I have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, let's do A equals this. And then we divide that. Oh shit, all of this needs to be floats. We divide this by the number of, first try to get the absolute, since it can range from -1 to +1. That's a good point. Amplitude. Yeah. No, you're right. I think amplitude would it be? I think it would be, yeah. Yeah. I think it would be. Yeah, I didn't take the amplitude's like range into account. So I might need to remap. Wait, no. The amplitude is in the range of 0 to 65,000. It's not a float. It's a 16-bit integer. So the amplitude is like within that range. But like when we are reading it, then we would actually. I think it's assigned. I mean, I could convert it however I want. It would be between, like, if it's assigned, if it's a unsigned in a 16-bit integer, then it would be like 0 to 65k. But otherwise, it would be negative, I don't know, 35k to positive 35k. But either way, yeah, I do need to wait. No, is yeah. I think the amplitude is like those are, yeah. It's not. It's yeah. I think it is, because like I read the values for each of the, like, for example, where was it? It was here, I believe. Like I have the wave file open, right? So then I can just read from the wave file, or I mean, wait, this is open for writing. I can open it for reading. And then I should be able to, there won't be a read here because I haven't done a read. So I can open it separately so let's do what? Do I have sound files here? No. It's output.wave, and I can open this in read mode. So I could do read frames, and like if I do read frames, I get the bytes, and then I have to convert those bytes into integers. And if I remember right, yeah, it was. I mean, when I'm converting it myself, then I have the option to convert whether I want to convert it to an unsigned or a signed integer. Yeah, yeah. The I need to think about the negative amplitude, because if we are looking at this sine wave, this is going like up and down and then back. So okay, so we're going like front and then coming back and then going back and then coming back and then front and then back. So like I think a similar thing would be happening with like with speech when I'm talking. I think so, because like when I record the audio in Audacity, I believe it does. Yeah, I believe it does. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to record it real quick. Hold on. Um, I don't know if Audacity, if the mic is set up on Audacity, how well it's gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna be opening it up on this system because I don't have Audacity here, but I have it running on Linux on another system, so I can do it there. What if I, okay, check. Oh yeah, okay, we're good. Check. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, so it's going in. Wait, so let's generate a new sine wave. Hold up. So the sine wave is 1 second. Let's, okay, let's do 10. Yeah, that's going up and down as well. And then this wave is going up and down as well, but it's going like up and down like in, hold on. Just a second, just a second. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna have to look into that later. Okay, so you know what? Yeah, I could. I mean, regardless of if it is positive or negative, I need to. I mean, at that point, I can just. At that point, yeah, maybe it would be. Maybe it would make sense to just take the absolute, right? Because what I'm trying to figure out, what I'm trying to figure out, at least in that specific scenario where I'm trying to detect speech, I'm trying to figure out whether there is any signal coming through, right? So if it's absolute, that's going to give me for both positive and negative. Okay. What was I doing here? I completely forgot. Oh, average. So I need to test something out here. So this prints out this average, right? Now, what if, now this is the arithmetic mean. This gives you one kind of average. I'm wondering if this average is going to be enough. Hold on, does the math thing have an average? Import math dot. No, I think NumPy has mean though. Yeah, NumPy has average as well, which gives you the opportunity to get different averages or different types of averages. But like if I'm looking for mean specifically, okay, let's do something here. Oh, you know what? I'm curious. Is this going to give me the same result? Oh, also it says array like, right? It doesn't necessarily require a NumPy array. Okay, mean. Oh, something happened there. NP is not defined. Didn't I define it in another thing? Oh, I've restarted the thing since then. Okay. All right. NumPy as NP. Okay. So I was just testing. I was just checking. Right. So I can just use NumPy. Now what I need to test is hold on. Later on I can get an average of this. So let's bring this up here and get rid of that. Great. Now, here's what I'm thinking, right? I need to see where exactly on the list, where exactly on a line is mean gonna point, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I need to test out how well this is gonna give me an average. Because if I take an average, if I take an average, yeah, if I take an average of, let's say, I mean, this is a perfect example, isn't it? Okay, fortunately, I think that is doing the float conversion for me, so I don't need to do the whole point zero, point zero, point zero thing. Okay, so if this is taking an average, what if I give like multiple? Okay, so now that changes. Now it changes even more. Okay, so there's an issue here. Actually, no. No, 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 there's not an issue here. No. The average, okay, that does make sense because there's a lot of fours in there, right? So it does make sense. Because we are not looking for the median, we are looking for the mean. We're looking for the average. And with so many fours in there, the average would be like roughly that much. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now what I need to look into is what should I do here? Like, should I, okay, there's a couple of ways that I can go about this. Like to understand, to explain what I'm trying to do here. So when I'm talking, imagine a decibel meter, right? When I'm not talking, the decibel meter will be pretty low because it's not gonna, oh, I could just switch to display capture and show you OBS. So that'll make it more clear what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna turn on display capture. And transition to that. Okay, real quick. Notice how when I'm not talking, like I'll not talk for a couple of seconds, and notice this line here. You see what's happening there? And notice what happened once I started talking. So like when I'm not talking, there's like a tiny bit of sound coming through, and I also have like a noise gate thing going on. So like it suppresses some of the noise. I think I have noise suppression as well, but I have the noise gate thing as well. Okay, I don't remember which filter I have. I have like some of them. So when I'm not talking, there's still going to be like a tiny bit of sound coming through, right? But when I am talking, there's definitely a lot of the signal coming through. To be fair, I'm amplifying this quite a bit. I have like one, maybe two gain filters on there. So it's like really amplifying. It's like really taking the signal up. So what I'm trying to check is, let's say I set a threshold. I can set a threshold somewhere here, maybe, just as an example. And what I want to check is when data comes through, when I receive like 256 frames or 512 frames or whatever the chunk size is, I want to check if I want to check if that data collectively is higher than the threshold or lower than the threshold. Because if it's lower than the threshold, I'm just going to assume that there's no talking happening, right? It's just background noise that shouldn't be coming through. So I'm not going to take that into account. But if it's higher than the threshold, I'm going to assume that somebody is talking, which in this case, the somebody is me, right? So I'm gonna assume that there is vocals coming through, and then I'm gonna do whatever else needs to be done based on the fact that somebody is talking. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want to detect whether the data is close to this threshold, because I'm not dealing with one sample, I'm dealing with a group of samples. And I want to find the best way, the most performance optimized way, the most performance friendly way to analyze this group of samples and detect whether the majority of them are lower than the threshold or higher than the threshold. So this is where I need to figure out whether I want to get an average, or I want to get, wait, okay, you know what? Hold on. So I noticed when I set the average, okay, I can switch away from this now. Okay. So I noticed over here when I set way too many of these higher numbers, the average kind of went up, right? So doesn't that mean if more samples in the chunk have a higher amplitude, then the average is going to increase, meaning it's going to eventually hit the threshold. I think that's a good marker. I think that's a good way to detect. So I'll take the average, and if the average is higher than a certain threshold, then I'm going to consider it to be audio coming through. If it's below a certain threshold, I'm going to consider it to be, well, silence. Yeah. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. That would work. So this is going to have to be a continuous thing. It's never going to stop, right? I need to run this. I'm going to run it off stream, but I need to run this for, a good like 2 or 3 hours and see what it, well, okay. So the thing is, I need to run the thing for, I need to run it in like a continuous loop, but I don't need to, record more than a couple seconds of audio. So I don't need to run like, I could run a continuous loop without actually storing hours of audio. Yeah, I would just have to like restart the loop. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I could do that. Yeah. So then these two use cases that I have, at least currently, the two use cases that I have, which are speech to text and the other is speech detection or voice detection, let's say. I'm still not able to remember what that thing is called, where I'm just trying to figure out if the volume or if I'm just trying to figure out if there's some audio coming through. But yeah, you guys get the point. So speech detection. These are the two use cases that I have so far. And for speech detection, I want to use smaller chunks just so I would be able to do it faster. I'm going to have to see if it's faster to iterate over a smaller array or over a bigger array. Or no, rather, is it faster to iterate over two 256 element arrays or one 512 element array? That's a better way to put it. So is it faster to iterate on one big array or two smaller arrays? I'm going to have to do research on that and figure out what would work for me. So the next thing I want to do here is, so I've set up this thing. I need to take it up there, or I can just carry on doing it here. That's fine as well. I can rewrite the code. I want to set up. Oh wait, this takes a tuple, doesn't it? Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, so width, let's say 256, height 256, and let's just run that real quick. Yep, that's great. Awesome. Okay, so I can run this window and I can actually, this is great because this way I'm gonna be able to run. Oh, I was about to say that I'm gonna be able to just launch the UI, but no, it's not gonna be that simple. Either way, I mean, it's not that bad. I can still like open up a command prompt shell and activate the environment and then just go from there. I mean, further from that point, it's just a matter of launching the script, running the script. That's going to then launch the UI and run everything else in the background, and then I'm good to go. I forgot what where my train of thought was going with that. Okay, I cannot remember. So after I've done this, I am gonna need to yeah, I'm gonna need to record the samples. I'm gonna need to read the samples, write them to the wave file. Actually, hold on, dude. Hold on just a second. Why do I need, for this specific purpose, I don't need to write to a file. I just realized that, dude. I don't need to write to a file. At least for this specific purpose. For the other purpose, I might need to. But do I really? I don't think I need to. I'm curious, dude. Hold on. What does just a second. I need to switch to BRB. And we're gonna do a tiny bit of Googling here. Just give me a second. So I need to look at the examples on, okay, so Hugging Face, Transformers, STT. I forgot which one was it. I think there was a wave to vec, no, wave to vec, but I'm not sure if that was the only thing that was required. But there was also another speech to text task that I could use. I think Facebook has one as well. Facebook has a speech to text model that is accessible from Hugging Face. For now, let's just look at this. I can't remember too much about like what I had seen previously. Speech to text is a oh wait, yeah, I can switch back now. Okay. Just a second. Just a second. Here's what we can do. Oh, there's an ad playing. I'm gonna hydrate while the ad finishes. Okay, welcome back. So, I'm gonna disable these two, enable this, this. Okay. All right. So we are gonna look into this. Is responsible for extracting the logmail filter bank features, the speech to text processor wraps, so and so, so and so, so and so. Into okay. Right. I can look into like how this is working later on. For now, I need to look into what kind of data it's expecting. Because if it's not necessarily reading from, wait, hold up. It's expecting samples. Okay, that just occurred to me. It should be expecting samples. This is audio, right? It should be expecting samples. That makes sense. So there's sampling rate, and then there's what is DS? Dataset. Okay, the dataset has, I'm assuming, samples. Okay, so we set the sampling rate. Not sure what return tensors does here. Generate IDs or IDS. Okay, input so and so, so and so. Okay. I need to see what the first. I need to see what the first thing here is. Processor. Processor is this, right? Speech to text processor from so and so. Speech to text processor. Where is that? Here. Okay, so let's look at the. I think I have to look at the constructor for this. Okay, so there's feature extractor and tokenizer. Is that what was going on there? No, that was a different thing. That was a different thing. So okay, we are gonna find sample. I don't think it's either of these. Yeah, I'm gonna need to explore this more later on, but I need to understand whether it's expecting samples because it's expecting the sample rate. Well, I mean it's taking in a sample rate, right? So I'm assuming. Wait, is there more code here? Transcription. So and so so and so so and so so and so. So. Okay. Is it just expecting samples? Model dot generate so and so. Okay, but before that, dude, it has to be expecting samples, right? Because okay, now if it is not expecting a file, if it's expecting samples directly, that's great because then I could feed samples into it. I don't need to do any file IO stuff. That's great, dude. So that way, maybe I can keep the sample rate small or the chunk size small. The sample rate is going to remain the same. I can keep the chunk size small. I can receive the chunk, send the chunk into the model. I'll have to see the performance related specifics, you know, later on, whether it's more performant to send in a bigger chunk or a smaller chunk. I'll have to see that. Uh, oh, wait, no. I think there's going to be a certain number of samples required because like 1 second, I can't send a small sample in there. 1 second is going to be 44,100 samples, right? So at the very least, I have to send that many. Okay, so something I could do is I could set up a mechanism where, well, I could set up a buffer that accumulates these small chunks of samples. And once it hits a certain threshold, like for example, 44,100, so 1 second, then it sends that off to the model. But the thing is, I feel like the model would be able to do a better job if there's more data there, if there's more seconds of talking, or if there's more talking going on, basically. I feel like the model would be able to do a much better job. Yeah, I'm gonna have to test all of that stuff out. But at least for the detecting speech thing, I'm gonna need a small chunk size because I'm not actually detecting speech. I'm detecting whether there's something higher than the threshold. So I need a small chunk size. Even 256 is probably a little big, but I don't want to go lower than that. Actually, I'll have to see if there's a minimum amount for the chunk size. I don't know if there is a limit because like there tends to be a limit for, you know, certain like OS specific things. There's going to be a max limit. There might be a min limit as well. You never know. But I think 256 is a good. It's a good number there. I can also do 512 if it's required. Um, hold up. Okay, so now I need to set up the mechanism. I need to set up the logic for uh like how I want this whole thing to go down. For the time being, I think it would be more like, at least in terms of being able to test something, I think it would be more beneficial for me to have for me to test out the speech detection thing, because I can just create an OpenCV window, and I can then like draw a circle on there and either give it a green color or a red color. That would be like a decent way to test, what do you call it? To test the speech detection thing. That would be like an easier thing to test out right now. Uh, just a second. Okay. So I'm wait. Could there be some more? Well, no. These are using the same similar code. I'm gonna need to relearn the basics of and actually learn more about the transformers library before I can do more stuff here. Um, Okay. Excuse the silence. Right. So, um, all right. Okay. So, the reason I was quiet was because I was looking for someone to raid. I think I'm gonna raid this person. So this is a person doing some level design for their game. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today's stream. Uh, Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you guys had a good time. I definitely had a good time studying. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the follow. I'm gonna look up how to pronounce your name so I can pronounce it properly. But thank you for the follow, and thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.